In the heart of Dubai's most luxurious neighborhood, a woman once cherished for her elegance and grace lit candles every night beside her dream, a family she prayed for but never had. She had it all, until one night, everything went up in flames, not just her home, but something far deeper. The piercing wail of Dubai Fire Department sirens shattered the stillness of the early morning sky over the elite Al Safa district. It was 3:47 a.m., April 16, 2013, when flames danced violently across the upper floors of a millionaire's marble villa. Fire trucks lined the quiet street as neighbors, wrapped in robes and fear, watched their nightmare unfold. Inside, responders found two bodies, one near a locked door, the other burned beyond recognition. A third woman, barely conscious, was discovered downstairs. Her hands trembled, her designer nightgown charred. But this wasn't just another fire. By sunrise, an international scandal erupted. Emirati wife burns down mansion in jealous rage. The headlines spoke of betrayal, secrets, and a forbidden affair between a powerful businessman and the young Filipina maid living quietly under his roof. Before we dive deeper into this unforgettable video, make sure to like the video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon. That way, you'll never miss any new coming videos like this. Now, let's get back to it. Behind that burning home was a woman named Hind, once the darling of Dubai's ultra-elite. Adored, admired, almost envied. But something she discovered in the days leading to the fire tore her perfect life apart. This was no accident, it was revenge. She was born into gold-threaded privilege, Hind Elms Rui, daughter of one of Dubai's most respected merchant families. Her father's trading empire helped shape the modern UAE, and from her childhood in old Dubai, she was groomed to become not just successful, but unforgettable. Private tutors, European summers, and silent lessons in grace shaped her into the perfect daughter of elite heritage. At 22, Hind married Nasser Almies Rui, a sharply ambitious businessman whose construction company became a pillar in Dubai's skyline boom. Their union was splashed across the region's society pages, a merging of power, prestige, and promise. To the world, Hind was the image of an idealized life. Charity galas, brunches at Atlantis, shopping weekends in London, and a beach house overlooking Fujairah's crashing waves. Their villa, 6 bedrooms, a private tennis court, and a view of downtown's glass giants rising from the desert. But within that shimmering life, something never took root: children. For 20 years, Hind tried. Dubai's finest fertility specialists, endless treatments, prayers whispered into pillows. Each failed attempt chipped away at the marriage, and what she once controlled effortlessly, her image, her home, her husband, began to slip. Silent cracks formed beneath their facade. Something was shifting, watching, waiting. Clara Santos arrived with nothing but a suitcase and the weight of her family's hopes. At just 24, the nursing graduate from Cebu left behind the familiar warmth of the Philippines for a land of polished marble and steel. Like thousands of women before her, she came to Dubai chasing a promise. 2 years of work that could change her family's life forever. Her job? Live-in maid in the Almies Rui household, a place of quiet opulence and strict routines. Her quarters were barely larger than a walk-in closet, tucked away on the villa's upper floor. She scrubbed imported floors, poured Arabic coffee with quiet elegance, and never spoke unless spoken to. Still, Hind noticed her early on: how precise she was, how completely invisible she made herself. But Hind didn't know. Not then. Clarice had dreams: to open a small clinic back home, support her siblings, and leave with dignity. Yet Dubai's sponsorship system left her bound. No freedom to change jobs, move, or even leave the country without written permission. Loneliness crept in. So when Nasser began showing interest, offers to drive her, small kindnesses, gentle words, it didn't feel like danger. Not yet. It felt like someone had finally seen her. It began with nausea, just a hint, barely a ripple in the daily routine. One morning, Clarice turned pale while brewing Hind's coffee, quickly excusing herself. Another, she refused the strong scent of Arabic spices she'd always handled without complaint. Hind dismissed it at first. Maybe stress, maybe the changing season, but the signs grew louder. Clarice began wearing loose-fitting dresses instead of her tailored uniform. Her energy waned. At times, she sat heavily in the kitchen, her hand drifting unconsciously to her belly. Still, Hind said nothing, but she watched. What troubled her more was Nasser's sudden attention. A man who had spent most of his life wrapped in business meetings and golf appointments was suddenly invested in their maid's well-being. "Let her rest," he'd say. He even insisted on driving Clarice to a clinic himself, something he'd never done, not even for Hind. When she questioned it, his answers were clipped, defensive, and unrecognizable. At dinner, he grew distant. His eyes wandered toward the kitchen when Clarice moved behind the counter. Hosts at their dinner parties began exchanging glances. Something was off, and though no one dared say it aloud, Hind had already begun to feel it deep inside her ribs. This wasn't her imagination. The truth didn't arrive in a scream. It came in whispers, quiet enough that Hind had to lean in and listen. It started with the phone bill. Nasser's number showed repeated calls during mid-afternoon hours when he was supposedly in meetings. Long, uncharacteristic conversations with unknown numbers. Her instincts, sharp from years of managing accounts for high-profile clients, turned inward to her own home. She combed through banking records, withdrawals frequent and in cash, jewelry store purchases she never received, clinic charges under names she'd never seen. Then one quiet afternoon, she found it, the unopened pregnancy test hidden beneath a stack of neatly folded dresses in Clarice's small upstairs room. She didn't cry. She took a photo and placed it exactly back where she found it. Hind's world began shifting, not loudly but unmistakably. The driver stuttered when asked about odd transportation requests. The cook made excuses to leave early when both Nasser and Clarice were in the house. Even the gardener wouldn't meet her eyes anymore. The perfect routine had become theater, and Hind now saw herself as the only one who didn't know the script. But that was about to change. What she would do next, no one could have predicted. The house was quiet, the thick golden silence just before betrayal turns into something irreversible. Hind stood outside the kitchen, staring at Clarice as she chopped vegetables, her movements rhythmic, calm. It had to be now. The other staff were gone. There would be no interruptions. "We need to talk," Hind said, closing the door behind her, her voice barely above a whisper. Clarice froze. She didn't look up. "The pregnancy test, from your room." The knife slipped from her hands, clattering onto marble. Clarice tried to deny everything. She said it was a friend's. She said she didn't know what Hind was talking about. But the evidence was too much. Call logs, bank records, hidden clinic visits. Slowly, tears began to stream down her face, her whisper crumbling. "I never wanted to hurt you. He said he loved me." She shielded her stomach instinctively, her voice breaking. "He promised we'd move. He said we'd start over in Abu Dhabi." The truth landed like a blow. For 6 months, while Hind underwent fertility treatments trying to build a family, her husband had already built one, with the maid in her house. Something inside her cracked, and whatever broke would never come back. April 15th, 2013. The villa was calm, polished, perfect, like always. Dinner was served at 7. Nasser barely touched his food, distracted. Clarice moved quietly through the house, their eyes meeting in glances that now looked like confirmation, not coincidence. Hind watched it all unfold, every detail branded into her memory. At 11 p.m., she heard them on the staircase. Whispered voices, plans made in secrecy, baby names, new life, a future that didn't include her. And something inside her went cold. She changed into black cotton clothes, moved through the house like smoke. In the garage, gasoline containers meant for the generator waited. She carried them up the narrow stairway to the maid's quarters. She knew every creaking board, every shadow. She poured it slowly through the air vents. Clarice slept behind that door, still believing in dreams Hind once had. At 2:47 a.m., a single match lit the night. Fire roared through the upper floors like a storm unchained. Nasser woke to screams and heat. He ran toward Clarice, toward their unborn child, but the flames were already too fast. And on the ground floor, Hind stood in silence, watching her perfect world turn into ash. Flashing red lights lit the marble walls of Al Safa as firefighters battled flames already too far gone. By the time dawn touched the Dubai skyline, the upper floor was destroyed. Nasser's body was found slumped near Clarice's locked door. He'd never made it through. Clarice, severely burned, was still breathing, barely, and Hind, untouched but trembling, waded downstairs, wrapped in a blanket of silence and smoke. The investigation was swift. Gasoline residue, burn patterns, and security footage told a story no one could ignore. Hind was arrested within 24 hours. Clarice fought for her life for 6 agonizing days. On April 23rd, she died. Her unborn child died with her. The news shattered her family back in the Philippines. Hind's trial began 6 months later. Hundreds packed the courtroom daily, journalists, diplomats, activists. Her confession stunned the room. "I didn't want to kill him, I just wanted him to lose everything the way I did." She was sentenced to 20 years, but the impact didn't stop there. Dubai's laws around domestic workers changed. The kafala system was revised, and Clarice Santos became more than a victim, she became a symbol. Behind every perfect picture, there's always a hidden story. Sometimes it ends in fire. Thank you for watching this heartbreaking true story. It's a powerful reminder that behind every glittering facade, there are silent battles no one sees. Clarice's story sparked change. Her life, though cut short, gave a voice to thousands without one. If this story moved you, please like, subscribe, and share. It helps us bring more untold stories to light. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Should betrayal ever justify revenge? Until next time, stay safe, stay aware, and remember, truth, no matter how deeply buried, always finds its way out.